Christmas. How you doing? Have a good one. Hope you have a good one. By the way, if you like the merch, the cup there and the coasters, no doubt I'll put a link in the description below. Sorry about that. I was just playing around and just trying to get some streaming stuff going because I'm trying some new things and some new bits and bobs. If you're watching live, if you want to say hello, you message me and I should be able to put it on the screen because I'm testing all this stuff out. Anyway, happy Christmas. Hope you're having a good one. I just thought I'd jump on and look at some music stuff I've been looking at this week. Anyone who knows me knows I'm constantly looking at music stuff and I'm constantly watching music things and I'm just all over it all the time. And I've just watched some really interesting music stuff this week and I just thought I'd pop on and talk about it. Some of the things I've watched and gone through it and reviewed some bits and bobs for you as well. Yeah, so we're going to look at some David Bowie stuff. We're going to look at David Byrne. We're going to look at some Elton John today, some Beatles stuff as well. And just a few bits and bobs. I just want to go through some bits just before Christmas. There's been no videos out for me to react to at the minute, apart from the Christmas songs. And I thought, oh, you don't be doing those because you hear them anyway. So I didn't bother with those. So I didn't do any reaction things. This will probably be the last thing I do before Christmas, I think. Anyway, so yeah, this will be the last thing for a little bit. Anyway, let's crack on and look at some stuff. Anyway, we're going to start with the Beatles 64, which I watched the other day. So obviously Disney released it on the 29th of November, I think it was. And this is basically the Beatles. Building up to their Ed Sullivan show and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I watched it. It's very similar to the 8 Days a Week documentary that Ron Howard brought out a little while ago. And it's also a bit like, there's a DVD that was flying around ages ago called, I think it's called the Beatles' First Trip to America or something. It's got like the arrows of the Ed Sullivan show on it. And it looks a bit like that. And there's a lot of talking heads in it. And it's, for a documentary, it's really good. They've cleaned it up really, really well. Now, I don't think they're using Peter Jackson's AI technology to do it. I don't think they do anything like that. It seems like they've just sharpened up the images because it's not got that sort of smooth look that they had in the Peter Jackson Let It Be video. It's actually kind of nice and just sharp. It doesn't look like it's been smoothed over and looks really bad or anything like that. So it's a really, really interesting documentary. Is it necessary? I don't think so. Is it needed? No, I don't think so either. I think it's pretty good. Like the chat there, you got a lot of talking heads on this documentary, and they're talking about what it meant to them and all that sort of stuff, and the effect it had on their houses. And they've got, I think it's Stephen Sondheim or Leonard Bernstein's daughter talking about what it meant to her and that sort of stuff. And you sort of think, well, you probably met him. It doesn't mean anything to you. But yeah, it's a really good documentary. Like there's some footage you've never seen before and bits and bobs like that in it, but there's not a lot of stuff which I could say is new in it either. It's pretty good, but it's not great. I just think it's all right. I think if you watch the 8 Days a Week documentary, then you've pretty much seen all of it, and you don't really need to see this at all because it's just all right. It's really, really good, but it's just all right. Yeah, so yeah, that one I watched that one this week. Obviously, it's on Disney Plus. You can watch it as well. What's really nice is the one bit that really hits home is John's playing. I think it's called a Harmonium or Harmonium or something like that, and it's like basically a wind instrument with keys on it. And this is 1964, mind. And John starts playing it, and he starts playing the chords to Strawberry Fields, like on it already. So you think, like, you know, has he had that sitting around since 1964? Is that how long that's been sitting in his brain? And it's just amazing when he starts playing it, and you're kind of watching it, and you're going, oh, this is great, this is great, it's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, it's worth a look. If you're a Beatles fan, have a look. I don't think you're going to see anything you've never seen before in it, though. You've probably seen this stuff a million times all over the place, so it's not really going to interest you if you're a heavy Beatles fan. But there is some bits and bobs in there that I've never seen before, and it did actually spark me interest in that sort of sense. You're like, oh, I don't want, like, bits just pop up. That's all they do. They just pop up. But then again, you know, there's like one scene in an hour and a half that you think, I've not actually seen that before. So it's okay. That's all I can say. It's okay. If you're a Beatles fan, have a look. I don't think you'll be overblown by it. I think it's just pretty much okay. Right, let's move on to some David Bowie that I found out this week. This is actually quite interesting as well. So it turns out now you can get your own David Bowie. And where's my button that I have to press? Hang on 1 second. Not that one, not that one. I told you I was new and I'm learning this sort of stuff. There we go. So you can get your own David Bowie stylophone. Is that how you pronounce it? So it's basically the instrument that he did Space Oddity on, where he goes all that sort of stuff. You can actually get one of those and play it yourself. Oh, there we go. The internet wants to play it now. It doesn't want to work. Anyway, yeah, so you can get one of those. And it turns out you can pretty much play it, and it's done for the 50th anniversary of Bowie. And as you can see, that it's got a silver part on it, Bowie written on it. Now, I thought these come out in 2021, but it turns out this is a new series that have only just been released. I've not seen these before. But this is a new lot that's come out. So is the internet going to let me work, or is it going to play up? I want to show you a little bit more about it. Interact. No, nothing wants to work. Excellent. No big deal. One more try? No. Okay. Anyway, so it comes in a nice box. It's got a picture of David Bowie around 68 on the front. And also it's got pictures in there from Tony Visconti and some other people at the time. I can't remember because I can't read the blurb now. But no, so if you like collecting your Bowie stuff and you like that sort of period of Bowie, definitely get your hands on one of these. They're changing hands for 40 quid or $40. You can get it from Stylophone directly. If not, I looked on the David Bowie website and it said you can get them on there, but only in 2021. And now they're saying you can buy them separately. So evidently you can get them somewhere else. So have a look at that as well. I'll try and put links in the description to all this stuff so you can find this out at the end of it as well. Another documentary I've been watching as well is this fantastic Paul Simon one. And I really, really enjoyed this one. So this is about 3.5 hours long. It's a really long documentary. And it goes through Paul Simon's career from start to finish, obviously with Art Garfunkel up until his modern and his new album. What they did is they kept sort of harking back to his new album. So you get him talking about that, then it go back to Art Garfunkel, then it will sort of go back to his new album. Then it goes back to him sort of doing like Still Crazy after all these years and things like that. But it's great to see this artist just intimately talking about his material. Do you want to hear some of the stuff about the new album and do you want to see him working on it? I suppose maybe if you're a hardcore fan, you would. Me personally wasn't very interested in it. I just want to know about his past career. And he talks about the row with Art Garfunkel and the fact they kept falling out and bits and bobs like that. And that was really interesting as well. But it just shows you what a brilliant, brilliant songwriter he is and what, brilliant work he does when he's, really in the swing of what he's doing. Sorry, I'm going to get a good drink. Available from the merch store. Yeah, so, he's a really, really good artist. And it's just great to see him songwriting and bits and bobs like that. Just working through his entire career. He talks about marrying Carrie Fisher. And he sort of said, they're both highly driven and both busy, and that's why they probably shouldn't have got married, because it didn't make any sense for him to do it, which is a real shame, because, you think they were just a great couple, but evidently it was a marriage of convenience. It comes across like that anyway, rather than an actual marriage because that's what they wanted to do. But yeah, no, it's a really cool documentary. Like I say, it is a long one though, so I watched it in 2 halves, so I did about an hour and a half each, because after a while you do kind of get a bit fatigued by it. Like with the Eagles one, where they did... like the Definitive Eagles documentary, it was in 2 parts, so it was in about an hour and a half each. That's about right. I think that's about right, and it's just about the right timing for it, which is really, really cool. Anyway, great documentary. If you like Paul Simon and all that sort of singer-songwriter folky stuff, definitely get yourself stuck into that. I really, really enjoyed it. Now we're going to move on to the wonderful Iron Maiden. No, that's not the right one. We're going to move on to the wonderful Iron Maiden. I'll pretend that didn't happen. Just ignore the joins. So Iron Maiden are obviously going to be on tour next year as well. Where's me button? Where's me button? Where's me button? Where's me button? Hang on. 1 minute. I'll be there in a second. Bear with. Hang on. There we go. So yeah, obviously Iron Maiden are going to be doing a tour next year in 2025 as well. And they're going to release their documentary Run to the Hills as well, which is going to go along with it, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. So it says to mark the 50th anniversary of Maiden, they're going to do a anniversary tour. Obviously, Nico is right on the end there. Nico's just left because, bless him, he's not been very well lately, has he? So I think he's finally left. Some guy called Simon's taken. I can't remember his last name. I read it last night. So they've got a new drummer already, a new touring drummer. Maybe Nico will do some studio stuff. But there was a documentary years ago. There was like a music video, and I think it was called like Number of the Beast or something. And it had all the videos on one side of it, and then on the I think it was on the second disc or the extra was about an hour documentary about the band, and it's going back to the start up until I think they come out probably around about 2000. So it went up to then. So hopefully this is going to go all the way through. Yet again, you kind of want it as a double disc, don't you? You don't want it as you don't want a 4-hour documentary running consecutively, because it might just wear you out. You can get fatigued when you watch this stuff too long. But I'm super interested to watch it. It's called Run to the Hills. Netflix have sponsored it as well, so you're going to get some money behind it, so it's going to be a good documentary. Hopefully they've got a bit of Paul Di'Anno in there, because obviously he passed away recently, which is a real shame. But I hope they go right back to like Dennis Stratton and all those early players that were in Maiden as well. I hope they cover all of those and really get into it and really dig into the band. And, Waltz and all, Blaze Bailey, that period as well. I wonder if that's going to turn up as well, and they're going to look into that as well, because that'd be quite nice as well. Right, let's move on to the wonderful documentary, which I'm super, super excited for. It's going to be this one when it comes out. Can't wait for this one. Led Zeppelin, Becoming Led Zeppelin documentary. Now, this is going to be amazing. As far as I understand it, come out in 2021. It's got a lot of personal footage from Jimmy Page himself. And I think it did like all the Toronto film festivals, and it did the rounds, and it did all that sort of stuff. And it came out, they sort of just shelved it until now. And then I think Netflix is releasing this as well. So it's going to be another Netflix release. Oh, you see the old Elios studio from Trident then, with Glenn Johns behind it. Anyway, I'm a student nerd, love things like that. Anyway, yeah, you know, and it's just, if it's going to be Jimmy Page's footage, there's going to be stuff you've never seen before. You know that Jimmy Page won't let anything go unless it's top quality and top notch. So this is probably going to be the documentary of the year for me, I think. You know, love the Beatles as I do, and, you know, I love Paul Simon, that stuff. This is the one I'm super excited for. I mean, Maiden's going to be good, but this will be the eye-opener, the one that will really, really, you know, just break ground. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see this one. Like, when it came out in 2021, you know, I desperately was seeking it out. I went on all sort of pirate, you know, websites like Pirate Bay and 117X, all this sort of stuff, just trying to find a copy in case someone had leaked it. Someone had put it somewhere, but nobody had, and I couldn't find a copy, and I was gutted. I just, you know, I'm literally itching to see this documentary. It's that bad. I can't wait to see it. Zeppelin are interesting for me because I got a CD of theirs when it probably mid to late 90s. You know, I knew Led Zeppelin, didn't listen to Led Zeppelin, can't even say them now. Put all this money for these teeth, they don't even work. Anyway, so, you know, I paid money for a CD, and I got it, and I played it, and I thought, you know what, I don't like this, I don't get it, I don't, it's not for me. Put it on the shelf, left it, I don't know, let's just say 5 years plus, something like that. And then I dug it out one day when I was getting ready for work, put it on, fell in love with it, been in love with them ever since. So, you know, they say your tastes do change and grow when you get older. And I wonder if it's just one of those things where I just grew into them a little bit, and I just grew to like them even more. But, you know, I just think they're fantastic now. And this is what makes this super, super exciting for me. And I can't wait to get my hands on it. Now, if you want to watch something that's slightly older, and you can probably find, though, I watched this the other day, bought it, absolutely loved this as well. This was David Byrne and American Utopia. David Byrne is obviously super interesting in whatever he does. He's brilliant. And when you watch Stop Making Sense, obviously him and Talking Heads, it's just him with the tape player. He comes out, plops it on the floor, presses play, and they slowly build the crowd and all that sort of stuff. This is completely different because it says there's no wires involved. And he said basically, you know, that people connect with people, they don't connect with objects and things. So he wanted to take all the wires out of the way. So as you can see in the video there, the guitars are all plugged in wirelessly, and the drummers are just playing like marching band stuff. Now, what happens is right at the start is the sides come up. This big curtain comes up, and then they come through the curtain, as you can see in the background there. And then they're doing the line off the curtain. And they do the hits. He doesn't do Psycho Killer, but he does Lazy, Road to Nowhere, and his own material. And I tell you what, it was just one of these things where I thought, that looks interesting. Bought it, thought, give it 10 minutes, ended up watching it for an hour and a half. I fell in love with it. It's just such an interesting concert to watch. Just, you know, top musicians doing their thing. David Byrne being David Byrne, being crazy and weird and all that sort of stuff, and doing his dancing like he does this. And it's really, really good. Now, this came out in 2021, so you should be able to find it on Amazon. I bought it on Apple, places like that. So it's definitely worth having a look. If you just want to see some music that's like an art experience, check that out. It's brilliant. And have a little quick sippy poos. But yeah, it's really, really great. Okay, I'm going to talk about one more thing, and then I'm going to shoot off. I just thought I'd drop on for a little bit and just talk about some stuff. So last night I watched the Never Too Late Elton John documentary. Yet again, was waiting for this. I reviewed it a little while ago just from this trailer. Was really excited about seeing it, and I wasn't disappointed. So I made some notes. I'll go through the notes if that's all right. So the footage goes backwards and forwards, a bit like the Paul Simon one I was talking about. The only difference is I think they used animation to tell the story as well. And I think they used the Rocket Man animation because it looked really similar. There's a bit where he jumps in the pool, he's floating around, and that looks extremely similar to the Rocket Man footage. So I think they're using a lot of that as well. They use a lot of 70s footage, a lot of Private Elton material, which is absolutely fantastic because there's bits I've never seen before. I've seen a lot of Elton stuff, but I've not seen some of the stuff they used on the video there. It was great. You see him in the French Chateau. I'm going to pronounce it wrong. I think it's Chateau de Hove, where Grateful Dead recorded and many other people, Bowden recorded there, I think. And you see him writing Tiny Dancer. Sorry, no, he's recording. What was he recording? Candle in the Wind. That's it. He's recording that there as well. You see him writing Tiny Dancer at one point. He says, "Oh, Byrne sent me these lyrics," and he uncrumples them and he goes, "This is the one I'm going to work on because I think this one's very sort of." Like it's about Byrne's girlfriend, and he starts playing Tiny Dancer, not in the way you know it, but in the way he's working out the melody and the rough, and it's fantastic. Like, just to see him in that sort of writing phase of his career as well. It's a real like eye-opening documentary as well. Like, he talks about he had a really rough childhood, and he said his parents were very strange with him, and he said at one point, which is heartbreaking, that his dad never went to see him live. So he did all those gigs, his dad never once bothered to go and see him because he just didn't want to know about it. I mean, just absolutely heartbreaking as well. He talks about coming out as well, and his relationship with John Reid, his manager at the time, and then, you know, boyfriend, and that was really interesting as well, because John Reid was managing Queen as well. So it's the, you know, there's a Queen and Elton John tie there, but really, really interesting to see him just talking so candidly about his life and his career, and just being so open about it as well. He talks about abuse. You know, I can't really say the words because I'll get banned on YouTube, but he talks about, you know, things that he was doing at the time and how it affected him, and how it took a long time for him to get over that, and it affected his career. Interestingly, I've got most of the Elton albums back there, all those 70s ones, I bought them there. And I've got his first one, Charles and Zippo, which they don't talk about in this documentary, which is a shame, because I think that was the first album, really. Anyway, so they talk about that, and then so the other year I was on holiday, and I thought, oh, I'm just going to go through the albums every day. I've got stuff to do. I want to play one. And as the albums went on and on and on, you can hear the problems coming in. And by the time you get to like the later albums, it's just a really hard listen. It really is hard to listen to, and you can hear where the problems started in there as well, and it's really interesting. Also, he talks about John Lennon quite a bit, which I loved because I love John Lennon. He talks about recording Whatever Makes It Through the Night, and he said to John, you know, if I do it, you've got to come on Madison Square Garden with me. And John was like, I won't do it, and all that, and then they did it, and he talks about the live gig, and they played some of the audio, which I've not heard all of it, and they played bits of audio I'd never heard before, and that was absolutely great. And they showed like a lot of footage I've never seen before as well, and that was really interesting as well. And they're reflecting it between his Dodger his Dodger Stadium gig from 1972, I think it was, to, you know, 2022, because it's the farewell tour. They filmed it during the farewell tour. David Furnish is obviously behind it as well. What's lovely as well, he's got the same band that he's always had from that period as well. Obviously, the band members come and go. I think David Johnson's the only one that stayed the whole course for the last 50 years. Anyway, the band comes and goes, and then you have the original band right at the end there with him, which is absolutely fantastic to see him playing with his original band. It's absolutely wonderful as well. There's a couple of bits he doesn't talk about. He doesn't talk about the Christmas song, Step Into Christmas, which you thought it would have done because he just released it now in December. You figured that would have been in it because it would have tied together. They don't talk about that in it. They don't talk about him owning Watford football team. They don't bring that up, which I thought they would have done as well. Thought they would have brought out owning Watford football team. And most importantly, which I thought would have been a nice side note, they don't talk about when he got married to the German studio engineer. His name I can't remember. He got married, I think it was in the early 84, 85. He got married to someone, and they didn't actually put that in it. And I thought they would have done that as well. So yeah, that bit was missing on it. As a documentary though, I think it's brilliant. It's a really good documentary. Like I said, it digs a lot into Elton's life. And a lot into, because it's David Furnish, you know, his partner that's made it with him. He's a lot more open than if it was anyone else making it. I think, you know, David's probably the guy to go, come on, put this in there. It's really important to Elton for people to know, you know, because Elton came out at a time. And what's interesting is he said, you know, the record company was unsure about it. His managers were unsure about it, you know, and he just wanted to be himself. So you've got this really cool, you know, guy just going, I'm going to come out, I don't care what it does to my record sales. And, you know, he's more freer once he comes out, and quite rightly so. He should have done it from the start, but you love him anyway. But yeah, it's a great documentary. I really, really enjoyed it. And if you get it, if you've got Disney Plus, it's on there as well. Disney Plus are absolutely smashing out all the documentaries lately. They're just throwing them out. It's fantastic. They're really putting some good stuff out. Let me know in the comments what you're really excited about watching. I'd love to know what you want to watch. And is there a documentary that you'd like to see that hasn't come out yet? Is there anything that's not come out that you'd love to hear? I mean, I love Steely Dan. Though. Anyone that knows I love the band Steely Dan. I'd love a Steely Dan documentary. That'd be absolutely fantastic. But there's not one of those. I mean, a real in-depth one. So I thought I'd just drop on, and I've called this bit music notes because I'm just talking about stuff that I've seen over the week. I might drop on once a week or once a fortnight and talk about the things I've watched and the things I've looked at, and I might find something new for you that you know is out there. So let me know in the comments if you like this sort of thing. I'd love to know if you like me doing these things where I drop on, just go live and just talk about music and things like that and things I've watched, because anyone that knows me knows I watch stuff all the time. I'm constantly watching music things, listening to albums and digging out things and bits and bobs like that. So this will probably be my last one before Christmas, only because I've got a day job and it's crazy, insanely busy, and I probably won't get a chance to do any more stuff. Yeah, so what can I say? Hang on, let's go back to me, shall we? Let's go back to me before we go. There I am. Yeah, I disappeared for a while because I've been working out some new studio equipment. I've got these new overlays, as you can tell, these new surrounds, these new lights, these new bits and bobs. I've got new everything. So I'm just trying to make it better for you to watch and more interesting and things like that. So yeah, that's why I've disappeared for a little while. And I've not put out a lot of content because I've been working on that and doing things like that. Okay, so, you know, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I just thought I'd jump on and talk about some stuff. If a track comes out next week, I'll review it and put it on there. I might try and do something maybe next week. Maybe it depends how my work goes and busy I am. Anyway, if I don't come back, all I got to say is, you know, thank you so much for your support this year on this channel. You've been absolutely brilliant, and I can't thank you enough for it because, you know, I started it as an idea, and I'm still navigating my way through the whole thing. And I'm not sure what people like and what people don't like, but you stick with it and you watch the videos, you comment, which is absolutely amazing. So thank you for that as well. I can't appreciate that enough. It's brilliant. You know, I'm just a little guy sitting in my little room here, talking to a camera, hopefully finding some new music for you to listen to, or, you know, you find a new documentary you really fancied and things like that. Because I just love talking about music all day. It's, you know, it's what I love doing. So to me, this is just fantastic. But thank you again for your support this year. You've been absolutely brilliant. I can't thank you enough. I hit over 1,000 subscribers this year, which really makes a difference. I didn't think I was going to do that, but somehow I did it. And it's all down to you. So you're awesome. So thank you so much. I'm just going to raise a glass, say thank you very much. Merch will be in the description. I'm not really. I just want to say thank you so much. You've been absolutely brilliant. Thank you for your support. Have a great Christmas. If I don't meet you or see you, you know, just have a fantastic one. And I hope you really enjoy it. And I hope it's good to you next year. And I'll try and get a line before the new year, so we do an end of the year show, and I might play you some bits and bobs from some shows we've done recently. And anyway, happy Christmas if I don't see you before, and have a great one. Love to you.